Brother Paul Taylor is my name.
All right, what do you do?
Well, you know, we do a lot of things. We could say I am an activist in the community, have been for a number of years from college days. Attended Wayne State, Lawrence Tech, and ever since the days of college days, we were involved in trying to raise consciousness, trying to make people more aware of who they are and who they are, to get them to understand that, yes, we are an African people, we're a black people, and we need to control our own destiny. And we can do that if we put our resources together, put our energy together, and do some things in a collective, and that's really what I've been doing.
If you had to rename Woodward after one Detroiter, who would it be?
Ooh-wee, that's a good one. You know, one Detroit. Malcolm X comes to my mind. Of course, he's a Michigander. He certainly was in Detroit. And he had those records that he made right here in Detroit. He would be one that I certainly would consider would be one worthy of having a street named after him. And that would be one that I think would be apropos. Well, as I indicated, I was going to Lawrence Tech College when I first got out of high school. And had the blessing to run into my teachers and my leaders, I would call them, Brother Kwame Yatta, who many of us know. He was one who kind of opened our eyes and kind of got us to understand that our African history, our African culture is so extremely important that we embrace it, that we have knowledge of it, and that we work with that understanding. Walamu Ed Vaughn from Vaughn's Bookstore was one of our teachers and our leaders. He came out to Lawrence Tech in the early days. He brought the message to the grassroots in the Battle of the Bullet by Brother Malcolm X, and changed my whole understanding of the life that I was living. Malcolm made it plain, as we say. He was able to explain to us what nationalism was all about, controlling one's destiny in one's own community. And it was through that kind of relationship with those brothers and the opportunity to do some other things. For example, I was hired by the school as a college to go around the schools here in the city of Detroit. And I can remember going to Kettering High School for one, and recruiting young people to come out from Lawrence Tech if they wanted to be and get a degree in engineering. And they needed to take the classes that they needed, the science class, the math class, and the class that you need to have an opportunity to pursue that particular profession. And we made them hire us. They gave us jobs and put us to work. And we were able to become ambassadors for the school and ambassadors for the community, most and foremost. And out of that came, again, the Inner City Subcenter project, which we had programs every day, morning through evening, through the night, Monday through Saturday, sometimes on Sunday. And there were programs geared toward acquainting people with Africa, acquainting people with some of our heroes and sheroes. We did a host of things with a whole lot of help from a whole lot of people.
All right. Now, as you talk about this, what high school were you going to? And then whereabouts in the town, and what was happening throughout the city at this time as you were getting more involved with bringing people around this whole idea of the inner city subcenter?
Well, I went to Cass Tech High School. I went to Jefferson Junior High School. Grew up in the Jeffries Projects, in fact. And we were able to, I guess, bear witness to some of the things that were going down. The rebellion of '67 was a part of my life for sure. We certainly know it was not a riot, it was a rebellion against this police brutality and so on that was going on then, and unfortunately still sometimes seems to be going on now. We were involved in a lot of opportunities and projects in those early years. We were tutoring children over at Northeastern High School. We did some things at Crossman Elementary School. We had some relationship with a Black Student Union group at McKenzie High School. We were doing a lot of things in a lot of places in and around the city, and it was through that again we opened up the Inner City Subcenter project. And everything we was doing had limitations when we were working out of other people's institutions, other people's buildings, other people's programs. And so we decided in order for us to really do what we wanted to do in the manner we wanted to do it, we needed our own building, our own place of work, and have our own opportunity to do the things what we wanted to do in the way we wanted to do it. And so it was through that we were able to get started. I can remember Brother Joe Mason, whose name I will always call. We went before them to ask for a donation toward our program. We had a 501c3 after we had gone through the process of securing that and becoming incorporated and so on. And Brother Joe Mason said our pitch to them was so overwhelming, so sincere, so full of a need to do something positive, that they gave us a $5,000 grant. And that was the first little money that we had ever received to do a summer program or do any program, in fact. And it was through that first initial grant that we were able to continue to do and continue to put forward, again, that inner city subcenter project.
What is African Liberation Day? Who is it for? Who should come? When did it start? Why does it exist?
Well, thank you again. African Liberation Day is 43 years old here in the city of Detroit. It started out of what was called the Pan-African Congress. Again, Brother Ed Vaughn and Brother Kwame Yabas and others who did that first African Liberation Day over at the Stevenson building over on Grand River there.
Grand River or what?
Grand River Livernois over that area, which is now Straight Gate Church. At that time, it was the Stevenson building. And in so doing, we had a whole host of people. The year prior to that, they had called for it, and Brother Stokely Carmichael and his organization had put it on in Washington, D.C. And many people had gone there, and it was a massive, major event because we said that we need to understand again that we are an African people, that our heritage is from the African continent, that we have a heritage that we can be proud of, that we don't have to be looked upon in a negative kind of way. We didn't start as slaves, for example, here in this country and around the world. We gave the world mathematics, science, astrology, astronomy, all those kind of things which will give you some sense of pride, sense of respect, sense of being somebody. And that's really what we started with when we did it again after Liberation Day. It started off as a march. Every year we would do a march, and we would march from one location to another. And we would recruit people to join the march, come and be a part of what we were doing, which was again, letting people know that until Africa is free, until we're all unified, none of us are free. And so with that as a backdrop, we were able to bring in speakers, entertainment, have vendors to come in and market their products, and just have an activity of celebrating our history and our culture. No different from other ethnic groups that do that, and they've done that down through the years. And so we certainly have the right and the responsibility to do that in relationship to who we are and what our history and our culture has given us. And so that's how we kind of got involved in African Liberation Day. It was initially headquartered on the west side of the city, if you want to make a divisive notion such as that. And it was held there on the west side, Northwestern High School, 1 year, several years, in fact, off the place of, what is it called? I almost forget it now. It's, mine just went blank. The Northwest Activity Center, right there. We had it over there a couple of years, and had that Lewis Business College a couple of years. And we were doing it on a weekend, year in, year out basis over there on the west side. And had a lot of turnout from a lot of people. And then kind of decided and declared that if we can keep it going, we need to move it over on the east side of where we were headquartered, which was for Forest and Air Corps there, the inner city subcenter. So we brought it to the east side. We began to organize some of the groups that were on the east side who were not participating to join us. And so we got Operation Get Down, and of course the subcenter, Kabaz, and some other groups, and all of us came together in harmony and unity and started celebrating African Liberation Day on the east side every year. And many, many people joined us in the effort from all around the city. And as time has gone on, we've declared now that opposed to doing it on the east side and or on the west side, we're doing it right now in the central city. We're doing it right down at our museum, at the Charles H. Wright Museum. That's the Museum of African American History, and we're honored to have it there, and we have it there now. This is going to be our third year having it there, and we expect and want to have it there year after year in partnership with the Charles H. Wright Museum. And we're looking forward to it becoming the biggest and best event that our whole city, our whole people can support. We, like every ethnic group, need to be able to celebrate our history and our culture, feel good about who we are, whose we are, and can come together in unity and have a great, good educational, informational, entertainable good time. We're going to do some of all of that.
All right, so what's going to happen this year for African Liberation Day?
Well, what we're doing this year, first and foremost, the last several years we've given scholarships to high school students that's coming out of college. And we want them to know that we are in support of them. We want to help them. We want to give them some support so they can fulfill their obligation or their dream to become a college graduate. And so we're bringing in a brother who is a professor at Howard University, Dr. Greg Kamakti-Carr, who's over the African Studies Department at Howard University. He's going to be our keynote speaker on Friday from 6 to 9 at the Charles H. Wright Museum. We're going to be there. And again, he's going to be the keynote. We'll have African dancing and drumming as a part of that program on Friday. We'll be respecting and so acknowledging our elders who will be there on that program on Friday. And we're just going to have a cultural, entertainment, good time on Friday. There'll be vendors available if persons will, and I hope they will, support the vendors by making purchases. We'll have our African Center t-shirts that commemorate this particular event will be available that day. And there'll be a host of things that people can partake in on Friday at the museum from 6 to 9. There is a donation requested for that event. It's a $15 donation per ticket, or you can get 2 tickets for $25. And the proceeds from that event, again, goes toward the scholarship fund that we put together every year to help students who want to go to college, who need some financial support, to get an opportunity to do so. And that's what we will be utilizing those resources for. And we want to thank particularly the Charles H. Wright Museum, who's gone into partnership with us on this event. They've given us opportunity to utilize the facilities there, and we really applaud them for that effort. That's our museum. We have a relationship with them, and they are co-sponsoring this particular event as we do it year after year. Again, Friday from 6 to 9 is when we'll be doing it, and it's open to the public. And then we'll do it again on Saturday morning. Saturday morning we start at 10 a.m., 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Now there's, again, no admission for that one. We do request a donation of persons if they can, and if they're able, we'd appreciate it. But that event is, we call all brothers and sisters, particularly young people, to come out on Saturday. We again meeting at 10 a.m. We're going to start off with our symbolic march. We'll be marching around the museum, again in harmony and unity, to let it be known that none of us are free till all of us are free. Our theme this year is breaking the chains, waking up the African in us. Some of us have chains around our minds. And some of us don't even know the chains are there. They're doing such a tremendous job of holding our minds in a negative perspective. And so we want to break those chains. We want it to be shown and known that we are proud of who we are and whose we are. We're African, we know it, we ain't ashamed to show it. And so we'll be walking around the museum, we'll have signs and posters and asking people to join the march, to join the event. And then at 12 noon, after we've had a tour of the museum, we're going to start our program. Our program will be there from 12 until 6 o'clock. And on that program, we have speakers, we have entertainment again, we have an African fashion show. We have Brother Kyrie Frazier, who's going to be with us on that day, him seeing the program. We'll have poetry, spoken word, and we're going to acknowledge some of our heroes and sheroes who have made their transition during the course of this past year. For example, we want to make sure we pay homage and respect to Mama Imani Humphrey, Queen Mama Imani Humphrey, who was one of the first persons to give us an African Center school with Aisha Shula. And she made her transition this year, but her spirit still lives. And we want to acknowledge her spirit by giving and paying respect to her at this particular event. We have others, Dr. Kiefer Lorraine, Weatherspoon, many of us know from the water station. She made her transition this year as well. And we want to pay homage and respect to her and the kind of work that she was doing, teaching nutrition. We're going to do respect to Brother Ron Scott, Coalition Against Police Brutality. Many of us know Ron Scott from Project Beta, being a TV personality. He made his transition this year, but his spirit still lives, and we want to acknowledge him and his family by having them come and be a part of this event. Brother Wally Muji from UNIA, he's from Detroit, but served again as the President General of UNIA at one particular time. We certainly want to acknowledge him and let his family know how much we appreciate the work, time, energy that he put in. Brother Quajo from the ASCAC organization, study group, had his own business. He made his transition this year as well. We want to pay respect to that brother's legacy and make sure that he knows, we know that we appreciate the life and time that he gave us. And then we have a national person that we are recognizing, which is Dr. Frances Quest Weatherly. She was our keynote speaker 2 years ago, right here at the museum. And she was the first one that we brought in and had an overwhelming successful crowd that came out to see her scholar as she was. And she made her transition this year, so we again are reaching out and acknowledging her presence as well. So we're going to have a full day of activities that day, again from 12 to 6. Vendors will be there with their wares and needing and wanting your support. We have a Detroit popcorn company that is one of our co-sponsors. They're going to be there. Countless others will be there with the things that they market, products that they sell. We've got to recirculate our dollars in our own community with our own people. That's something that we must work on to do even more so. And this is an opportunity to do that at the After Liberation Day. There'll be a number of vendors there with their wares, their products, their foodstuffs. And we want us to, again, support each other and support the businesses that are supporting us. And so we're encouraging persons to come and be prepared to stay all day. We hope that people will come both Friday and Saturday and stay all day. Friday from 6 to 9 is the time frame that we're working with. And then Saturday is all day from 10 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening. And we're hopeful that people will just take a time out. So these are 2 days that we want to hold sacred, and that we really want to come out and support who we are, and let the babies know that their history and their culture is something they need to be proud of as well. So we ask the person, bring your family out, bring your children out, bring your grandchildren out. This is a family affair that is open to everybody, and we would love to have persons come out and support again the 43rd anniversary.